Hello everyone, welcome back to Project for YouTube channel. This is me Simran Anand. Today in this video, I'm going to discuss about how you could get started with data science as a career. So this video is for those if you are someone who is very enthusiastic about data science, would like to hone your skills in data science, or even if you are a novice, a beginner and would like to make a transition into the field of data science, this video is for you. So this is me Simran Anand. I'm a computer science engineer who's currently working in the data science domains. I have profound experience and expertise in academic research and professional experience in data science. So in this video, I'm going to give you some of my insightful tips and personal suggestions as to how you could carve a niche for yourself in data science domains. We all heard about data science, the buzzwords like artificial intelligence, data science, the subdomains of data science, but we don't know exactly. You might be wondering what exactly are the subdomains, are the skills which are actually helpful for you to even get started with data science. So in this video I'm going to explain you that. As well I'm going to also cover the skills which are required, few some of the tips and how to you can actually build a resume, a standing portfolio for yourself to stand out in the field of data science. So let's begin. So if you know that, if you've heard of data science already, you might be thinking that what exactly it is or what terms it actually comprises of. So data science is, if I talk about the significance of data science, there are plenty of significance of data science. It has various applications in various industries. So when I said, even if you're a novice or if you're professionally, you're having no experience in data science, but you would actually want to start your career as a data scientist, then be it any industry or a domain, I would say that, transitioning into data science requires patience, time, effort, and few of the skills that you would actually, or you could actually start building. So when I say what exactly is data science in short, it is an emerging field in STEM, which is statistics, engineering, mathematics, that involves leveraging data to solve complex business problems. So the key of this data science is to solve business problems and to help business organizations to achieve their goals. So even if you are someone who is not in the IT field, you might be thinking that do we actually need to come from a computer science engineering background? I'm from a computer science engineering background, but it's not like you need to have a computer science engineering background or even a master's degree to actually become a data scientist. To start your career as a data scientist, the starting step should always be the skills you have. I believe strongly in that. So when I say the skills you have, I would like to delve into that later, but when I say the skills you have, what exactly does it mean? It means having a good projects and inclination to learn. So the most important part of data science is asking right questions. So when I said it's to leverage data to solve complex business problems, and those the solution to those problems is by applying statistical algorithms called machine learning models, which assist in revealing hidden patterns in the data. So you have data, and data can be the structured, unstructured data, right? The real life data, which is very raw, messy. When you actually have the ability to process that data and draw meaningful insights from it. So you're actually extracting insights and make business informed decisions for the businesses. That is called as how that is, what the work of data scientist is. So as per LinkedIn, jobs in data science have displayed a 650% growth since 2012. So that is why it's very, it's in a high demand field, I would say. And about 11.5 million data scientists are expected to get hired by 2026. All these numbers support the buzz around the data science in any field. When I talk about the significance of data science, it is really very significant in fields like finance, healthcare, IT sector, or even be it retail, market, telecommunication, media, and so on. So in each and every domain, we can say that there is some kind of an application in data science. To name a few, if we talk about finance only, risk analytics, real time, risk management, predictive analytics, or even be it fraud detection. Those are some of the real life applications of data science. You can actually work on such industry specific projects to build your portfolio. Or even if you talk about healthcare, the predictions or the detections of certain tumors, say brain tumor or any tumor, or even monitoring the health, that is also done, done by data science and machine learning algorithms these days. Even in the IT sector, of course, IT in education is one field where I need not even emphasize the importance of data science because it's really evident. And also in media, Media also leverages data science algorithms, say recommendations, to give you recommendations via recommendation engines or personalizations. That is where media, we're actually getting to see the application of data science. So, and marketing as well. So that was all about, it makes it evident. So if you want to make a career in data science, it would be really rewarding for you in this long term. So you need to actually possess the right skill set in order to get into the field of data science. So now that I've given you what exactly does a data science do, and then you might be interested in some subdomains of data science, but you must be overwhelmed with what exactly you should be learning to get a career in data science. So you need not worry, because yes, data science is a complex field. It is a huge domain because it encompasses not only fundamentals. You need to not only have technical skills but also non-technical skills. So it does not work that you only have technical skills but you're not able to communicate, which is non-technical skill. So you need to have a balance between them both, and having the right mix can actually help you land a career. So when I say what are the skills required for data science career, technical skills, which are, I'll put it in short here, coding, machine learning, and math. So I would like to, explain you these all in detail in the next slide, but that is the technical skill. Coming to the analytical skill, you need to have good critical thinking, analytical ability, decision-making skills, domain knowledge. So when I talk about domain knowledge, see, data science, many people actually underrate the importance of domain knowledge. So that was what I was talking, when you actually want to make a transition from any field into data science. Say you were working previously in a healthcare department or even a finance department, economics department, or so on. But you want to make a transition into data science and you think that it has no link, but that is not true. Whatever knowledge you have gained in your particular domain you're working in presently, like say economics or even say finance and so on, those can actually serve as a domain knowledge for you. And when I say domain knowledge, it means business use case understanding. So in every data science problem or a project, we start with a use case. We need to understand the problem statement clearly and then strategize on achieving goals for the organization. So when you actually have a good background knowledge, a good domain knowledge, or a business acumen in order to solve critical business problems, that is a very good, advantage for you. So you need not worry about transitioning into the field of data science or if you're a novice, but having the right skills and honing them as much as you can actually help you land a career. Definitely, apart from skills, you need experience. And to start with experience, you can start with an internship. So let me, delve into that part later. So that was all about domain knowledge. Soft skills is, for soft skills, definitely you need a very good communication skill. So when I say communication, it should be both written as well as verbal communication, because you need to break down what you're saying into simpler forms, the complex form into the simpler form, so that the non-technical stakeholders or clients can actually understand. That these are some of the skills you need for a data science career. Talk now coming, illustrating what is the technical skill. I would like to say these are all the skills I'm enlisted over here. Now you need not worry, because you might be overwhelmed with what the skills is mentioned here. So it's mentioned cloud platforms, model deployment, everything mentioned here. But to start with, I would say that you start with something very basic. So when I tell something very basic, that was definitely boils down to mathematics. So you might be thinking that machine learning algorithms are very common these days, that fall under data science and all. But more just simply model building or knowing the machine learning algorithms, too technical stuff, will not actually help you to become a great data scientist. The first and the foremost skill to becoming a great data scientist is you need to have a learning attitude, because data science is a journey where learning never stops, is what I believe. And also, when I say that, there are technical skills, non-technical skills. So to put it simple, I would say that asking the right questions, understanding is the key, communicating is the key, and asking the right set of questions to people is the key. So when I say that was all about the analytical skills, but in technical, it starts with the mathematics. So when I say mathematics, you need to have a good understanding of mathematics. I cannot deny that fact, because all ML algorithms, or be it any model you are working on, that all actually are, the core concept is taken from the the formulas of statistics and the concepts. So the fundamentals, when I say, of mathematics and statistics, are something you should be aware of. You need to hone them in order to possess the mathematical skills required for data science. So mathematics and statistics, to name a few, what exactly is that? Probability, linear algebra, or multivariate calculus, and statistics. These four subdomains, I would say, you can actually leverage, and you can work on them in order to build your good understanding of mathematics for data science. Come on, this is all about the mathematics statistical part. In my previous slide, I also told that It requires math, coding, and ML. So when I say this is all about math, coming to the coding part, now you must not, be not from a computer science engineering background, non-technical background. How exactly can you hone your programming skills? Now, for programming skills, I would say that yes, you need coding because you need to have a good understanding of programming. But the programming languages, you need not know all of them, like Python, the common ones being very Python. The Python is the most prominent programming language for data science. So pick any one programming language, get better at it, improvise yourself, and make build projects in that field. That is my suggestion. So the common programming languages are Python, R, Java, C++, and Scala. SQL is one, one language I would say that everyone, who's a data science should actually know, who's in the working in the field of data science. So when I'm saying that, even be it a data engineer, so data science project involves a lot of, teams, be it a big data engineer. Now you might be confused with what a business analyst does or what a big data engineer does. There's a slight difference between the job descriptions of both. You cannot expect, a business analysis to actually think or do the work of a data engineer or vice versa. So this slight, more distinctions in these domains. But when I say that what skill is actually needed, the core skills needed for everyone is that SQL, I would like to emphasize on that. It stands for structured query language. That is basically to manipulate data, analyze, and query data. Since data is, stored in data lakes, or be it even databases, data warehouses. So you need to have a skill of mining the data, manipulating, and querying the data. Writing effective queries to manipulate data is something which I would like to highlight here. So that's structured query language for relational database management system. NoSQL is again one skill because data these days is an unstructured form, be it image, audio. It need not always be in a tabular format. So in order to deal with unstructured data, you need to learn NoSQL databases. By the way, SQL, the example of SQL databases, you can get started with MySQL and Oracle. NoSQL start with MongoDB or Cassandra. Now, coming to machine learning and deep learning concepts and algorithms, you need to have a good, understanding of all the algorithms which are actually there in machine learning, so that they could, whenever you're actually coming to the stage of, after you pre-process the data, clean the data, you're actually building a model. Now, while you're building a model, is that the transform data has to be actually modeled in order to solve a particular task. Say your business use case is, it can be either prediction or classification task. In order to solve that, you need to build a algorithm. Now, to build that algorithm, if you have a good understanding of ML and DL, the concepts. Now, when I said before starting ML and DL algorithms, start with mathematics, because all those algorithms are ultimately, based on mathematical concepts. The working of those are internally based on mathematics, talking in the research perspective. And if you're actually talking in the coding perspective and how they are, there are libraries like sklearn, which is scikit-learn, TensorFlow, Keras. They are frameworks different available for you, for machine learning and deep learning algorithms, and they can be coded in Python. Python is the most common, Python or C++. And do not restrict yourself to, just one of the skill over here or something like that. Even if you're also free to use R, Java, MATLAB as well for programming. So that was all for machine learning and deep learning algorithms and the fundamentals. Then coming to knowledge in NLP and OpenCV. Now you might be thinking NLP is really a very, a completely new thing or something like that, or you might start from scratch. But then definitely, when I say you are a data scientist, sometimes you might be bound to work with NLP or OpenCV projects as well, because they fall under ultimately in the category of data science. See, what is NLP? Is that natural language processing? That is for working on text data. So basically analyzing text data. Now we got to know that analyzing data to gain insights is data science. So why not do it for text data using text pre-processing techniques? That is again data science. Then OpenCV is similarly for images. If you're working with image data, manipulating them, analyzing them to draw insights, that is why OpenCV comes into picture. So start building your knowledge in NLP, and OpenCV is something I would I would like to encourage you. But always start in a step-by-step fashion. Do not get overwhelmed and start everything at once. I would say start slowly, take it slow, and start firstly with the fundamentals, the mathematical concepts, statistics, build a good business acumen. Then coming to the programming, SQL, definitely you have to practice. There are various online platforms to practice SQL. W3 Schools is one, and SQL Alchemy, and so on. So open source tools, having a good knowledge of open source is something that I would like to, also emphasize on, because open source, when I say open source tools, when you're, actually manipulating data, there are open source tools available to make your task very easy. There are frameworks and libraries available for you when you're performing OCR as well. PyTesseract is one open source tool. Or whenever, you might be hearing about Hadoop. So Hadoop has different components, like MapReduce, Yarn, or even be it, HDFS. So that's again an open source tool. So you need to have a good understanding of open source platforms. data visualization tools and libraries in order to see when you're actually analyzing data, you need definitely visualization, it comes handy because you have to actually analyze and then present in such a way that's very easier for your stakeholders to understand. So in order to depict your insights in visual form or graphically, that is where data visualization comes into picture. Tableau and Power BI being the topmost tools for data visualization. Libraries for, you can start with, the Python has matplotlib, cborn libraries, or even R is being a statistical scientific programming language, has its own set of libraries for actually visualizing plotting data. Coming to the last and foremost, which is the challenging part of data science, I would say, is having cloud knowledge of cloud computing and for model deployment. So cloud platforms are gaining momentum these days, be it GCP or Azure, or Azure, which is Microsoft Azure, or a Google Cloud Platform, even AWS. So these are cloud platforms that you should be aware of in order to deploy. So not see, when I say deploy your model, you're actually taking your model to the production environment for the inference engine. So in order to take your well-built model into the production environment, that is something very a challenging task, I would say. And for knowing that, to make your task easier, having a good knowledge of these cloud platforms will actually make it easy for you to deploy your model. And a model at deployment should actually be tested several times before. So to test that several times, you need to have good machine learning, model building capabilities, good data intuition capabilities, and so on. That was all from my, about the data, technical skills required for data science that you can hone. Coming to the non-technical skills, it is communication, communication skills. When I said having good, effective communication, because you need to, if you don't have good communication skills, I would say that there's no use of data science projects because people would not be able to understand it. Your end user, be the client or the stakeholder, should be actually be able to understand what is the end result or the work you are doing. That is where effective communication comes, and it's both written as well as oral communication. You need to be able to communicate your insights from your data. Then collaboration and adaptability. Now see, data science is not an individual task. You need to work as a team. There are different people allocated, and see, a data engineer is making the task of a data scientist easier. A data engineer works on managing and operating the databases and systems to work on them, clean the data, and then it would actually take data from various data sources, collect the data from various data sources, pre-process them, transform them. So basically ETL, if you've heard of ETL, which is extract, transform, load, or extract, load, transform is ELT, they are actually working on such processes to convert or transform the data in a format which can be easily used or worked on by the data scientists. So data scientists have to be working in tandem with data engineers and with data analysts also. Now data analysts also take in the data, visualize the data, draw key insights from the pre-processed data, and then deliver them. That is again sent to the machine learning or deep learning model engineers who are actually working on building models. They do analysis on building trial experimentation. Tracking is going to be done, MLOps, and it's something like a cycle which has to be followed, an iterative cycle which keeps going. And once your model is ready for production, it is sent to the production, and data scientists deploy the model using cloud providers. So that is, when I say collaboration and adaptability, that is how, when I said adaptability, I use the word of experimentation tracking. Now that word experimentation tracking involves, a lot of changes are bound to happen in any data science project, in any model. So you have to be very flexible in that. Then analytical reasoning skills, having good logical ability, analytical ability will actually help you. Business acumen. Now say to have a good business background understanding. If you're from even finance sector, if you're working in that, or even if you're working in some education department or media, having a good domain expertise is what I'm saying, as to how your organization is actually working, how to actually bring profits to the organization or strategically achieve goals through data. That is what is say by which I meant by domain expertise. Inquisitive and learning attitude. Now when I said this need not be explained, because definitely inquisitiveness is something, curiosity, which you should have as a learner. And storytelling is the last skill which comes along with data visualization, I would say, because the ability to narrate good stories, effective stories, is something which is very useful as a data scientist. Now to begin your career in a data science. Now exactly, you see, if you when I said To begin, now it all boils down to these steps, which is first and foremost being assess your current skills and experience. If you're someone who is a novice, start from the scratch. But if you're someone who already has some kind of a idea or a knowledge in data science, if you're working in data science for, you say, for your academic projects, personal projects, but you do not have any industry experience, that is where you will be lacking in experience. So you gain experience by starting with an internship, apprenticeship, and also start applying to jobs which are entry level. Now, when I say about the current skills, if you are someone who do not have the skills as well, then identify gaps in your skills and knowledge and start building on those skills. Now that you understood what are the skills which have highlighted, the technical as well as the non-technical skills, start capitalizing, start working on them. Develop a plan to gain the necessary skills and knowledge. Start a plan, but always start with the in step by step fashion is what I recommend. Then gain relevant education or training. Say if you do not have a degree, now people confuse the degree as well. When I say I would say that yes, getting a master's degree would actually make it easy for you to land highly lucrative jobs in data science, but that is not always the case. If you are someone who is very motivated, or also has the right skill set which is required for data science, has a good knowledge flair for data science, and you worked on several projects experience, even if you have no industry experience, but you have worked on industry specific projects, do highlight them in your resume or your portfolio and make them stand out. Now, when I talked in this video about how to carve a niche for yourself in data science, it means how to set yourself from others in the data science. So when I talk about this, the main thing is how do you actually make your projects novel. Novelty is something I would like to highlight in the research perspective. But when you talk in terms of industry standard, that is where you are actually more than novelty. It should be you are going to build on a simple solution. You need not know too complex technical deep learning algorithms or very complicated stuff and make this the matter more complicated and giving less results. But then the main thing is how do you amplify the results? How do you bring profit by using something very simple that others can even understand? So for doing that, you need to, in industry, you need to use the, even, you can definitely come up with your novel approaches, thought processes to set yourself apart. But then even if you're using the existing process, you can actually, you have to focus on how to make tasks simpler in order to achieve and bring revenue to the organization. That is one thing, I would say strategically, in order to help how actually data science problem and solves the use case. So when you're talking about a business use case or a business problem, so your goal should be always to solve that particular business use case or a business problem through data science. So if you don't have relevant education or training, you could definitely, there are ample online courses, boot camps, or degree programs online which you could get started with. Self-learning resources and communities, you can join in various learning communities, say on LinkedIn, professional platforms, and then you can hone your skills in data science. Build a portfolio. This is something which is very, very important in order to land a career in data science. Having a very good professional network is something I would like to highlight, because if you're building, networking is definitely, it goes without saying that you need to have a good network, strong network, and along with that, a very good portfolio. When I say portfolio, what does a portfolio mean? Portfolio definitely can highlight your experience if you have. What and in experience, you should always, talk about what work you have done and what and how you have helped the company achieve, and always quantify the data. So when you're talking about something you have brought in so and so increase in the revenue of the company, mention the number, by say by 50%, by 75%, or so on. Mention, quantify your results. So that is something which has to be highlighted in the results part. You need to be result oriented here. And also projects that showcase your data science skills. Now, be it any personal project, research paper, when you're even showing a research paper, that actually counts. So me, I'm coming from a computer science engineering background, and I had good experience in research experience, and had variety of projects. One thing I have have kept in mind is that regardless of if I, even if I don't have a professional experience, I made sure that my projects, whatever I'm doing, they are industry specific, and they could actually help me to understand each and every concept in data science, and I touched every domain of data science out of curiosity. So these are the some of the skills which I would personally recommend for you, in order to if you're someone who's very enthusiastic about data science, always focus on the projects, because projects are something which will give you hands-on experience more than courses. I would say build a portfolio of projects. Always showcase a portfolio whenever, if you are working on projects, showcase that portfolio somewhere. So if you're for doing that, use GitHub, which is open source platform you can store all your projects and showcase your projects and stuff. So that is an excellent platform for you, or you can use Bitbucket, GitLab, and so on. Then use public data sets or create your own. There are various sites available, Kaggle being the most common. And definitely one more thing is that you can also, if you have very competent Kaggle competition, you make sure that you actually participate and do not miss out any Kaggle competition. Or if you're someone who has done participated in one or two Kaggle competitions and achieved good results, do mention that in your resume. And gain practical experience. Start with internships, entry level jobs if you're starting your career with data science. Network and attend events. Attend conferences, meetups, or other events. So now, if you think of entry level jobs, I would also say that do not underestimate startups as well, because startups actually give you experience of working from scratch. So always, try gaining such. Even if you have skills, startups, they do not actually consider experience. They take the skills into consideration. So if you have the right skills, start building on them, gain experience, and then definitely you can then look for other internships, better opportunities, and so on. So network and attend events, build your professional network, connect with professionals, follow their blogs, newsletters, because they're very insightful, and that will actually help you to keep updated with the latest trends in data science. Now finally, last point I would say cover is that be interview ready and apply to jobs. So do not lose faith in yourself, I would say. Keep applying to jobs, online job boards. Always look at the job description. There might be 70% of the job, even 70% of jobs skills of mentioned in the job description actually match. Go ahead and apply. There's a fair chance of you actually getting shortlisted. Network, job fairs, and career events is some of the ways where you can actually network and build your professional network. Crafting your data science resume, which I already discussed about how you can actually quantify your results, include a portfolio of all the industry specific projects. Now the projects should not be always very easy, so definitely start with, as a beginner, start with beginner level industry projects and go step by step. But try working on diverse projects, which will actually help you get acquainted with various frameworks as a personal project and so on, so that you can mention and highlight in your portfolio. Then customize for each job application. Now when I say customize, that's the right word over here, because you see, the job description need not be always the same. Even if nowadays, even if it's a data analyst, some companies are actually giving the job description of a data scientist. Or say even if it's a data analyst, they're giving the job description of a data scientist. Do apply to them, because when you see that there is a match in the skills, then that is a good chance that you could actually get shortlisted and gain experience. Then it need not be that you should always start with a data scientist internship or a data scientist careers. You can start with an analyst role, be it a business analyst role, data analyst role, or even a data engineer role, anywhere. When you're starting with something which is in among these fields, or what all data science encompasses, like artificial intelligence, NLP, you can actually start with them, customize your resume accordingly. So whenever you have a project in NLP domain or in OpenCV, do include that will highlight your how specific and how interested you are in to diving deeper into data science, because NLP and CV are definitely deep core components of data science. Preparing for data science interview. Now this is something which goes without saying, that you should always be interview ready. Always look out for what are the previously asked questions in the interviews. Make a list of them, keep practicing the technical questions, practice technical questions and problem solving exercise. Be prepared to showcase your portfolio. So if someone asks your portfolio, be ready and be confident with what you have written. And even if if you do not feel confident about it, do mention in the bracket that you are just a beginner, or rate yourself for better understanding, and be ready always to showcase your project. So that was all about in this video as to how you could get started with data science for a career. And I hope I have this video has actually given you a few insightful tips for you to set out a niche for yourself, carve out a niche for yourself in the data science domain. So do check out Project Pro, because I personally believe that Project Pro is a curated library of solved end-to-end project solutions, and it offers various blogs, tutorials, code recipes, and 24/7 customer support is also available here. So check out the Project Pro website and stay tuned on the YouTube channel for more interesting tips, projects, and so on. Thank you very much.